did you agree to this interview?
To get my story heard.
Get your story heard.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like your story's not been fully heard?
No.
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 What do you think about the story that's been told about you or for you?
I think that the world viewed me as the person that was in that store on the floor that day, and not who I really am and who I am today.
Tell me about the person that you are today.
I'm a person in long-term recovery.
Person in long-term recovery. Congratulations
Thank
for that
you.
recovery.
Thank you.
Well, I know that you are famous in part because you've had a history of a very public addiction, right? And I wanted to ask you kind of when you first had a first dose of an opioid, when was that?
In 2004, I had a neck injury and I needed surgery, and I was prescribed Oxycontin.
Oh, wow.
And I instantly fell in love.
So tell me what it was like the first time that you had Oxycontin.
I was taken as prescribed. It managed my pain on a certain level, and then I was introduced that you can sniff them,
Okay.
and then you can sell them, so I was making really good money. And then I started to sniff more and more and more, and I was eating them like candy too.
Oh, wow. Wow. And you said that they made you feel really good. What did that feel like? Was it a high? Was it a...
I didn't have any pain. I was numb.
Numb.
Completely numb. I had no worries in the world.
And was that just from physical pain or from numb from what?
From everything, life.
From life.
Yeah, from past trauma.
A lot of people have described that feeling of being numb to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And a lot of people have kind of described that it numbs you to hard experiences that you may have had in your childhood, etc. Now, did you have some of that? Did you have trauma when you were young?
When I was younger, yeah, I had an older cousin that used to make me perform oral sex to him.
Oh, Jesus. And when you took Oxycontin, like you said, you didn't worry about that stuff?
No, not at all.
I find that often is that patients, there's the narrative that, oh, people are just getting high.
Mm-hmm.
But so often I find that people get into troubles with those drugs because you get relief.
Yep.
And that's what you experience?
Absolutely.
Relief from anxiety, relief from sadness or depression.
Yep.
Yeah. So how long was it that you were getting prescribed Oxycontin?
I want to say 6 to 7 years.
Wow, 6 to 7 years.
And it wasn't just Oxycontin, it was fentanyl patches, Demerol injections that I gave myself, Opanas, Percocets. My doctor prescribed me everything.
Wow. How easy was it to get those medicines at that point? Was it
real easy?
Real easy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, and a lot of times people get exposed to opioids, like you after surgery. And they remain on opioids to the point that they become a problem through, a physician's hands.
Yeah.
So when was it that you stopped receiving prescription medicines? What year was that?
I would say 2013.
2013. Okay. So after that stopped, where did you go through withdrawal, or where did you get?
I started taking the Suboxone from off the street.
Okay. And your overdose, when was that?
2016.
2016. For 2 years, you got Suboxone on your own off the streets.
Yep.
Okay. And with that, did you ever think of going to a hospital or to a doctor or anything?
No.
How come?
Because I didn't want to have the label
What label is that?
that I'm an addict and I'm a mom and I needed help.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty big stigma.
And I didn't think I had a problem because I was prescribed my prescription, so I wasn't an addict. That's how I had it in my head.
This is a prescription, so it's okay.
Yeah.
When was it that you realized that you actually had a problem with addiction or opioid use disorder?
Probably 3 years ago, after a year after being sober. It took me a long time. Wow. A long time.
It was a year.
Because I wasn't injecting. I wasn't a heroin addict on the streets and homeless. I had an extremely hard time.
Wow.
I had my children. I had a home. So it was hard for me to accept that.
In September, it was September 17th that you had your overdose. Is that correct?
I think it was the 18th.
The 18th.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what happened that day.
I don't know exactly. I know that I sniffed a line of fentanyl at my house. And then the person that I was with, I didn't have any more of the Suboxone.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get another bag of dope, but I wanted to get the fentanyl because it wasn't heroin.
Oh,
and I
wow.
wasn't educated on it that much. So I know we were at the Lawrence store at the Family Dollar, but I don't remember the ride at all. I don't remember going into the store. I do know that I was in the store because he went to go get more, and he was an IV user, so I didn't want my daughter in the car. But I don't remember the ride. I don't remember what happened after. They said that when they Narcaned me, I said that I was taking a nap
Wow.
in the aisle. So,
Wow.
yeah, I don't remember much of that day.
So is that what do you remember them waking up from being Narcaned or
No.
getting Narcaned?
No.
No.
The only thing I remember is being at the hospital when they took my daughter.
Okay. And then, was that the first time you've ever overdosed?
Yeah.
So, what was it like when you went to the hospital? How did you feel like the care was?
It wasn't that great because I needed help,
Yeah.
and they were so quick to take my kid. I remember a security guard was outside the door, and I remember I had my pocketbook, and as soon as DCF came to take my daughter, I saw the fentanyl bag in my pocketbook, and that was it. I took the whole thing and
Wow.
I tried to OD on purpose.
Wow. So when you were actually in the hospital, so you tried to kill yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh. I can't imagine how traumatic that was.
And then they released me.
Wow. What
Yeah.
type of care did they give you when they released you?
No detox, no nothing.
No detox? No
Nothing.
naloxone for
Nothing. Nothing.
Did they mention treatment?
Nope.
No. Wow. So you had a full-blown addiction.
Mm-hmm.
You had come close to dying.
Mm-hmm.
You had come to a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
They had taken your daughter from you.
Mm-hmm.
You had tried to kill yourself in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and they released you.
Yes.
And then you're in a situation where you'd overdosed, and it was a very public overdose. What was it like when you saw the video the first time?
I didn't see it until I went to court on the 67th day.
Okay.
They took me in for reckless child endangerment, and they played a clip of it.
What
And
was it like watching that video?
It was hard because I had all the news reporters inside the courtroom. It was hard. It was hard because my little girl was crying, and nobody picked her up. Nobody tried to help me. So it was hard.
That's got to be somewhat insane. That
Mm.
You were there, literally, you're dying.
Mm-hmm.
Your daughter is crying.
And not one person picked her up.
How long was it before someone came over and checked on you? Do you know, or did someone tell you?
I don't know because the video there's a few of them, and some are 3-4 minutes.
3 or 4
And that's a long
minutes.
time for a child to be crying. A very long time.
Yeah, for a child to be crying and someone to obviously be having a medical emergency
Mm-hmm.
and no one
No one helped.
helping.
No.
Do you think it's because people who have addictions are not treated like human beings?
No, we're not.
Do you feel like if that was, you're having a heart attack or a diabetic emergency?
It would have been completely different.
Yeah,
Completely different.
people would have been less worried about their phones and more worried about you.
Yeah.
And more worried about your daughter.
Yeah.
Do you think that the fact that it was so public was part of the reason why you lost custody of your daughter?
Oh, yeah.
What other response did you get?
At that time, I was one of the worst mothers in the world. I was the Dollar Tree junkie. I was everything. Everything.
So you're called the Dollar Tree Junkie. That's pretty horrible.
Yeah.
When you started to get into your recovery, what was that like? From going to, what sounded like an incredibly dark place to starting to put the pieces of your life back together and figuring out what that life was going to look like.
The first 2 years was hard. I was in the spotlight, so it was almost like I shut down. I couldn't focus on myself because I had the court dates, the media, lost my kid, have to go see my kid. I wasn't doing the work on myself. I was like numb and I shut down. I wasn't talking. I'd have my head, like in all the groups, I put my head down. Like I wouldn't pay attention to anything. I was just so shut down for the first 6 months. And then when I got to the halfway house, that's when I started to like open up a little bit. But really in the last 2 years is when I really started to like enjoy life.
So now with your recovery, tell me more about what you've been doing with your life and the time that you've gained back.
I work at a shelter. So I'm a diversion specialist at the Lowell Transitional Living Center. and just I get the intakes and just meet with every single person, meet them where they're at, and see if they can be housed, go to treatment, harm reduction, and just meet with them every day.
How is that for you as someone who's in recovery?
It's not as hard as I thought it would be, because it's not where I ever want to be again. I remember being that.
How do you break through and kind of communicate with them, or you know, make it so that they realize that you're there to help and that there's a different future for them?
I try and just listen to them. People are so quick to talk over them. You know, this is what you need to do, this is what you should do, this is what you have to do. I just try and speak on what I went through, what worked for me, and you have to build a relationship with the person because they have to trust you.
I trust you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just say, just try and go to detox. If it doesn't work, you can come back. Let's try it again. Stay connected. And they check in with me every single day, every day.
Yeah, because you have that relationship.
Yeah, you have to build a relationship with them.
Mandy, I want to end by just thanking you so much for your bravery in coming forward and telling your story.
Thank you.
And you have so much to be proud of. Yeah.
Thank you.
We're going to be releasing this video during September, which is the day of the month of your overdose.
Yep.
But more importantly, for your life now and for the future we want to foster for so many, it's also Recovery Month.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
which is a beautiful thing.
It is.
So what would you want to say to someone who's either seeking recovery or who's been in recovery? Do you have a parting message for them?
Stick and stay. Build a network. Stay connected. Be proactive. Because it does get better. It's not easy, but it does get better every single day.
Yeah, that's a beautiful message.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. And that we want to build a future where the medical system, the legal system, etc., is there to help you rather than judge you.
Exactly.